You should never take food away from an innocent child. It's awful.
Now at 5, a mother says her kids were lunch shamed after they ran out of money in their accounts. What she says happened and why she thinks the school should change its lunch policy.
It's all about sunshine right now. Cool temperatures on the way tonight, and then some big late week changes to talk about.
A woman's ID stolen, and so was a car. How she landed in jail and what's happening now.
Tonight, these pictures showing what police call a person of interest in a murder at a pub in Broad Ripple. The call to action for anyone watching tonight.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Good evening, I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins.
A mother is furious tonight. She says her kids were lunch shamed and denied food at school because their accounts ran out of money.
RTV6's Stephanie Wade speaks with her and why she thinks the school's policy needs to change.
This mother says her kids were embarrassed and picked on by other students when their food was taken from them while checking out in the cafeteria line, all because she didn't reload their accounts in time.
They were so upset they didn't want to go to school. They were crying, "Mom, please just homeschool me, Mom."
Shayna Lawson says her 2nd and 5th grade daughters came home crying from Harney Elementary School in Lebanon Thursday after she says the cafeteria worker denied them breakfast that morning. Lawson didn't reload their meal accounts on time, so when the girls were checking out,
The lady took their food from them in front of everyone in the lunchroom and told them because they didn't have money on there that they were not allowed to eat. There were kids snickering in the back of the line, made them feel very uncomfortable. I can only imagine how they were feeling.
Lebanon Community Schools says students are not permitted to buy anything when there's no money in their accounts, but an alternate menu option is available to them. They say they notify parents twice weekly about low account balances. When it goes into the negative, a letter is sent home explaining the process to apply for free or reduced priced meals. Lawson says she received that letter and was planning on reloading the accounts. Coming up at 6, hear how other schools in our area have changed their policies to prevent what's called lunch shaming. Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
And if you ever have any concerns about your kids at school and need help getting answers, reach out to us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. Breaking news just into the RTV6 newsroom. 2 people have been shot and 1 person is dead after some kind of incident on the city's south side. The double shooting happened on the 7300 block of Orinoco Avenue. That's near East Southport Road and Madison Avenue in the Southport area. Again, 2 people have been shot. 1 person is dead. IMPD has not released any information about a possible suspect or a motive. We have a crew on the way to the scene. We'll continue to update the story right here on RTV6 and the RTV6 app and the IndyChannel.com.
The sun is out in full force this evening. Quite the difference from our cloudy drive into work this morning. Temperatures are fairly comfortable outside at this hour. I'm here with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. And Kevin, what are you tracking for this evening? It's felt a lot chillier.
It is quiet. So we're going to have clear nights and sunny days. The next couple of days, kind of rather, it's boring almost, but we're stuck in neutral in a great weather situation. That's the good news. A week ago today, we were at 92 degrees. How about that? Today's high 72. Remember, we had that 3-day stretch with record temperatures last week. Our temperatures will warm up as we go through the week until the end of the week. As you can see, rain showers off to the east. This brought some much needed Sunday showers to much of central Indiana, especially early in the day. That's a thing of the past. It's gone now. Sunshine's going to work. Current temperatures, our warmest temperature of the day, 72 in Indy. It's 72, as you can see, in Evansville. Notice the 60s off to the east. That's the cloud shield that's pushing east. Then with the departing area of rain for the evening hours, a beautiful evening. The wind will be light. Temperatures down into the 50s by 10, 57 at 11 o'clock tonight, and our overnight lows headed into the 40s. Indianapolis, 45 degrees with a light wind during the day tomorrow. Temperatures start in the low to mid 40s. What changes during the afternoon? We'll talk about that coming up.
New information tonight about an identity theft case that landed a woman in jail for a crime her family says she did not commit. We first told you about this case Friday on the news at 11. Kristen Parr was arrested on an auto theft charge last Thursday. Police say this woman used Parr's ID to test drive a car from a greenfield lot. That car was never returned. Parr was arrested and spent 4 nights in jail. This morning, all charges were dropped and Parr was released. Now, police say the delay in their investigation and Parr's court date was due to all county offices being closed on Friday for Riley Festival.
Had there been court on Friday, there's no doubt in my mind she would have been released on Friday, but that's not my call to make. We have a lot of sympathy for this lady, for Ms. Parr, knowing that she spent now 3 nights in the Hancock County Jail, when in reality is she may very well be a victim.
Police are still looking to identify the woman who is accused of using Parr's ID. New at 5, police have just found this woman. Officers say she was wanted for questioning in connection with a deadly shooting at a pub in Broad Ripple. IMPD homicide detectives released these images of a woman they are calling a person of interest in relation to a homicide at Connor's Pub on October 3rd. Investigators say someone shot and killed 36-year-old Alfred Hayes Jr. at the bar around 3:30 that morning. Police say it's unclear why Hayes was shot. Officers say Connor's Pub is a popular after-hours area in Broad Ripple, and there were likely several people in the area at the time of the shooting.
New at 5, a 4th victim from Indiana has died after a plane crash in Michigan late last week. The Clinton County Sheriff's Office in Michigan says 27-year-old Zachariah Eugene Bennett died from his injuries on Saturday. The Federal Aviation Administration says the plane left from Indianapolis South Greenwood Airport Thursday morning and crashed while approaching the runway at Capital Region International Airport in Lansing, Michigan. 46-year-old Neil Allen Sago of Trafalgar, 51-year-old John Thomas Lowe of Greenwood, and 67-year-old Timothy Joe Clark of Franklin were all pronounced dead at the scene of the crash. 2 other men are injured. It is still not clear what caused the plane to crash. Steve Braun, the brother of current U.S. Senator Mike Braun, is suspending his bid for Congress in Indiana. Republican Steve Braun said a health problem is forcing him to suspend his campaign for Indiana's 5th congressional district, the Associated Press reports. He did not specify the exact health problem. Braun is running to replace Republican Susan Brooks, who announced in June she would not seek re-election. RTV6 has reached out to both Braun and his campaign for comment. And a reminder, if you want to vote in this year's municipal elections, today is the last day you can register to vote and have your vote counted. If you registered before but want to make sure your information is correct, you can find that online at indianavoters.in.gov. If you are not registered, you must be a U.S. citizen over the age of 18, have lived in your home for at least 30 days, and have an Indiana driver's license. Election day is November 5th, and early voting begins in Indianapolis and many other communities tomorrow. Well, the Colts are now entering their bye week with a lot of momentum.
Yeah, the team shocked many fans by beating the heavily favored Kansas City Chiefs on the road last night.
But it wasn't all good news. Unfortunately, one key member of the Colts defense suffered a bad injury in the game.
RTV6 Sports' Braun joining us now with a look at the Colts headlines a day after that big upset in Kansas City.
You really want some positives going into this bye week, but a bit of a bummer here as we get to Monday afternoon. This news just coming down here after Sunday night's massive performance from a Colts defense that was already riddled with injuries. The depth of the roster built over the past 2 seasons came into play. Well, that will need to continue into this month of October. Another starter injured late last night in that win over the Chiefs, and this time it is defensive end Kamoko Toure. Coach Frank Reich telling us just minutes ago, Toure going on injured reserve with a broken ankle, dislocated to be specific. This play in the 4th quarter, he got part of a sack on Patrick Mahomes, but he got caught in the pile, went down. Eventually, after a few minutes, Toure was carted off the field. Just a tough loss for that Colts D. Toure, in his 2nd season with the team, was a 2nd-round draft pick last year. Really has just been a solid performer all along. But give huge credit to the rest of the Colts D. The 13 points they gave up to Kansas City was the lowest the Chiefs had scored in any game with Mahomes at QB. Now, as we find out that Toure's injury is in fact long-term, it will simply add to an already long list of games that have been missed by Colts defensive starters. Toure was also inactive back in week 2 of this season as well. Darius Leonard has missed 3 straight games after a concussion. He did practice a couple of days this past week. Chances look pretty good that he'll be ready after the bye. Jabal Sheard returned last night. He had a great game, and the same for the rest of these players. The Colts' open date on the schedule is coming at a very good time as far as this unit is concerned. Coming up after the bye week, the Colts will play 4 of their next 5 games at home. The Texans are the next of those. That's here on October 20th. Those teams are tied for the division lead, so certainly a big game to come back to. No formal media avails for the Colts this week, but they are likely feeling pretty good for the most part start after that big win last night, but we'll see how the defense bounces back again. Again, Kamoko Toure going on injured reserve with that broken ankle. Mark?
All right, Brad Brown for us. Thank you. The Purdue football team will have a different look for their homecoming game this Saturday against Maryland. Today, Purdue unveiled moon-themed uniforms. Now, if you look closely, you can see moon-like craters on the P in the logo there on the helmet. Those helmets are also white with a gold face mask. You see it there? Purdue's homecoming game against Maryland kicks off at noon Saturday at Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette. Still ahead on RTV6 tonight, why Indiana health officials say now is the time to get a flu shot.
And we established tomorrow morning will be quite cool, but look at afternoon temperatures. By the end of the week, we're in the upper 70s, and then this happens. We'll talk about that and your weekend plans coming up.
In 12 months, no payments, no interest.
RTV6 is following breaking news at this hour. I want to give you a live look at the scene of a double shooting that left one person dead and another injured on the city's south side. The double shooting happened on the 7300 block of Orinoco Avenue. That's near East Southport Road and Madison Avenue in the Southport area. Again, to reiterate, 2 people have been shot. 1 person is dead. IMPD hasn't released any information about a possible suspect or a motive, but as soon as we get that information, we will pass it along to you.
And tonight, Indiana's health commissioner is urging you to get your flu shots soon because flu cases are already popping up around the state. State Health Commissioner Chris Bach says you should take steps quickly to protect yourself and your loved ones because the flu can be deadly. Since the 2014-2015 flu season, nearly 800 people in Indiana have died from flu-related illnesses. Vulnerable populations include the elderly, pregnant women, young children, and people with chronic illnesses or compromised immune systems. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends that you get your flu vaccination by late October. It takes about 2 weeks for it to fully take effect.
A shooting victim is in the hospital recovering following gunfire on Indianapolis's northeast side. That shooting happened on Balboa Court near 42nd and Post Road. Police tell us they responded to shots fired, and when they arrived, they found the man sitting in the driver's seat with a gunshot wound. Police say the car had been shot multiple times. The victim was taken to the hospital and is expected to recover. No word yet on whether police are looking for a suspect in this case.
At least 1 person is dead after a crash involving several vehicles. Indiana State Police say the wreck involving 2 semi-trucks and 2 other commercial vehicles happened around 2 o'clock this morning on I-70 near the Brazil exit. That's in Clay County. At least 1 person died at the scene, and the crash shut down the westbound lanes of the interstate for several hours. The cause of that crash is still under investigation. And a traffic alert right now. A busy Carmel intersection is closed while crews turn it into the city's newest roundabout. Construction at the intersection of Main Street and Guilford Road is expected to last for 60 days. Crews will replace the traffic signal there with a roundabout.
Developing tonight, contract talks between United Auto Workers and General Motors have reportedly hit a snag. UAW says there may not be a settlement soon, despite in a dispute that's led to a 21-day strike by 49,000 union members. Almost 7,000 GM workers in Kokomo, Bedford, and Fort Wayne are among those walking picket lines. UAW says GM is not willing to fairly compensate workers. However, the car company says it continues to negotiate in good faith with very good proposals. The strike has shut down GM's U.S. production since September 16th.
New developments from House Democrats today as a second whistleblower has come forward with firsthand information regarding President Trump's phone call with Ukraine's leader. ABC's Mona Kassar-Abdi is in Washington with the latest.
Today, a major development in the impeachment inquiry against President Trump. House Democrats issuing a new pair of subpoenas, this time to the heads of the Defense Department and the Office of Management and Budget. In a letter, the House chairs requested information regarding the Trump administration's decision to delay military aid to Ukraine. Writing the documents are necessary, quote, to examine the sequence of these events and the reason behind the White House's decision. The request comes as a second whistleblower has now emerged.
We are tremendously dependent on people of courage stepping forward.
The unnamed member of the intelligence community claims to have firsthand information about the president's efforts to push Ukraine to investigate his political rival Joe Biden and his son. A request the president again made publicly just days ago, this time also calling on China to investigate Biden. Some Republicans say the president was clearly joking.
I know the president asked China to investigate.
We know they're not, George. Come on.
Meanwhile, Senator Lindsey Graham is putting the pressure back on the whistleblowers, saying Trump should be able to confront his accusers.
The whistleblower's allegations are turned into an impeachment article. It's imperative that the whistleblower be interviewed in public under oath and cross-examined.
And on Capitol Hill Tuesday, Gordon Sondland, the U.S. ambassador to the European Union, will testify before 3 House committees leading the impeachment probe. Sondland was among those on text exchanges on dealings with Ukraine turned over to the House. Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, Washington.
Jeopardy host Alex Trebek's new candid interview opening up about being the host of one of America's most popular shows as he continues to battle pancreatic cancer. Trebek says doctors at one point described his cancer as near remission, but that changed when he lost about 12 pounds in a week and had to undergo chemotherapy again. But despite the setback, Trebek is using the job he's held for 35 years to maintain a positive outlook and spirit. And now into 36 seasons and 8,000 episodes, he still shows up every day.
I will keep doing it as long as my skills do not diminish, and they have started to diminish.
Trebek credits his wife for his strength to move forward.
A huge country act is coming to Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Dan and Shay will make a stop in Indy during their first ever headlining tour. Dan and Shay will perform Thursday, April 16th. Tickets go on sale on Friday, October 11th, beginning at 10 a.m. I'm really pumped about this one.
Are you ready for that one?
It'll be a good one. I'm excited.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you, too.
It's exciting sometimes to see rain, right?
Yeah, we had some yesterday.
Had a little bit Saturday night at my place, and then Sunday, you know, ease into that with the rain in the morning, and then in some spots there were still some showers in the afternoon. But
it's cleared up nicely, though.
Much needed, yes. We're in a stretch here where we get a little rain, which we needed, and now we've started another dry stretch. We've had under 1/4 inch of showers, those at the airport yesterday afternoon, 2,200s to be exact. Now, all eyes on the treetops instead of the radar. You'll begin to see a little more color here as we go through the next few days, and I would say the next week a lot of color as you look with the Brown County leaf cam. Temperature 72 in Indy, as I mentioned, warmest so far today with the trailing clouds. The showers are way off to the east, but the clouds lag behind. So it's 66 in Richmond, 73 in Terre Haute, 72 in Lafayette, 70 down in Bedford. Through the evening hours, beautiful night to go out for a walk. I want to introduce you to Nico. Look at Nico.
Hey, Nico.
You can just tell his nose is cold and wet, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. With that face out the window.
Jamie Brown sent in a picture of her pup, and you can do the same thing. Kevin.Gregory@WRTV.com, and I'll take your dog for a walk during the forecast. We'll be down to 54 by 11 o'clock tonight. Temperatures overnight will gradually get warmer, as well as high temperatures. All of this going uphill through Friday. We play King of the Mountain, and then we'll slide back down for the weekend. There'll be a big temperature change on the way. Quite cool in the morning, but sunshine to the rescue. By noon, 65 degrees. Afternoon temperature tomorrow in the low 70s. That's at 5 o'clock. The wind will be light as well. All of these temperatures will feel great just because of the very low humidity, light wind, and all the sunshine. Oftentimes, I use TrueCast to time out showers, thunderstorms, pinpoint critical time periods. In this case, I'm just going to let it run from tomorrow morning through Wednesday, even into Thursday. Other than some mid to high level clouds, certainly no precip to worry about. We're on cruise control for a while. We'll be a few degrees warmer Wednesday. Middle of the week, 74 with lots of sunshine. As we get beyond Wednesday, these temperatures will continue to climb a few more degrees. The temperatures will be in the upper 70s on Thursday and Friday. From there, all the way down to here, 58. That's your high Saturday. Sunday, 61. And I do think some spots will be in the 30s on Sunday morning, maybe even Monday morning. So at least we start to talk about potential for frost. Not ready to get whipped up over it yet, but it's possible.
Okay.
All right.
The mums can handle it.
The mums. Thanks, Kevin.
Well, Barbie is getting a new career that requires her to wear a gown, but not the kind you see at beauty pageants. Mattel hopes the latest doll will inspire girls.
Hello to you. I'm Julie Grant with Court TV, and we are bringing you coverage of 2 trials here on Court TV Live. The first of which, a long-awaited murder trial underway right now in Tallahassee, Florida. Sigfredo Garcia and Catherine Magbanawa are accused of killing an internationally known legal scholar in an alleged murder-for-hire plot, allegedly orchestrated by victim Dan Markel's former in-laws. Garcia could face the death penalty if he's convicted, and Magbanawa could spend the rest of her life in prison if she's convicted. Then another man involved in the plot, Luis Rivera, is already in prison after pleading guilty. He's also testified against his former friend, implicating him in this heinous crime. Also, jury selection is underway in another Florida courtroom right now, where defendant Jimmy Ray Rogers is facing the death penalty if he's convicted for allegedly being the hired hitman who killed a beloved holistic doctor in Florida named Teresa Severs. The state says that Rogers attacked Severs in her own home, bludgeoning her to death. And to make things worse, the person accused of hiring Rogers is none other than Severs' husband, who is also a defendant who will be tried separately. We'll bring you live updates from both of these courtrooms throughout the day today. You can count on Court TV always for gavel-to-gavel coverage. I'm Julie Grant. Now back to you in the studio.
Julie, thank you. And you can stream Court TV live anywhere, 24/7 at courttv.com. Barbie is going to court.
And no, she is not facing a lawsuit. She is now a judge. Mattel has unveiled Judge Barbie. The doll comes with a traditional black robe and gavel. Judge Barbie also has a lacy white collar that looks like the one Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg wears.
Yeah, Barbie officials say just 33% of sitting U.S. state judges are women. They hope this new doll will inspire more women to become judges.
Very cool.
Coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, agriculture is a big part of Indiana's way of life. How one program is preparing today's students for the agriculture jobs of tomorrow.
But first on the Now Indy, protecting yourself and others when it comes to sharing the road with farmers. You're watching RTV6. We'll be right back with the Now Indy.